I want to bring you good news regarding the schools and what we can do to protect our children when they go to school. Well, I need to talk a little bit about the tests. Let me tell you a few words about testing because that's very important. When we try to see if people are carrying or not the virus when they don't have symptoms, and this is what is important for us, which means when we need to detect people, asymptomatic people that transmit the disease without knowing it, we have to understand that in order to do this, we need some testing that will tell us if the person has or not the virus. And there's a very interesting story regarding this. I believe you all know that people were getting tested before seeing Trump at the White House, but even doing so, Trump got sick. So how come that this happened? I need to explain, and that's very important. We have now in the United States very nice tests that will give you results regarding the presence or the absence of the virus in your airways in 15 minutes. This test is known as Abbott BNex Now. If you want to check on the internet, that's the name, BNex Now. The only problem is that this test was done to check people who have symptoms. And this test was not designed to check asymptomatic people. But the White House was using this test to see if people could or not go in without a mask. Now, this is not the right test to do. The right test to do is the PCR. It's called real-time RT-PCR. This test will tell you if you have or not the virus, even if it's a very tiny amount of viruses. Now, there's another test called LAMP PCR. LAMP stands for Loop-Mediated Isothermal Amplification, Polymerase Chain Reaction, PCR. And this test yields almost exactly the same sensitivity that you have with real-time PCR. So it's a very nice test, and more than this, what's good about this test is that it's very simple to get tested. You don't need to have the swab that goes inside your brain and almost makes you vomit when they put it in your throat. It's a test you spit in a tube and then you have results after 24 hours. And very sensitive. There's a lab in São Paulo, a very nice scientific lab, that does this for 95 reais. So it's cheap, easy to be done. And of course, there's one problem. They only test when they have 100 specimens. So my idea is to bring this to schools so that schools can start doing this eventually weekly, every 2 weeks, or even once a month. In my opinion, that would need to be done once a week. But you can do this at the school. Nurses are trained for this, very easy. You send the tubes, you have results 1 day later, and people who test positive will not go to school, obviously. So that would be a very nice thing to be done to make sure that we're not bringing sick people that don't know they have the virus, sick or not, asymptomatic people, to schools. You can test the teachers, you can test the teachers, you can test the administration staff. It's very nice. The only thing is you need 100 people. So that's a problem. But in schools, this is not a real problem. So I wanted to share this with you so you can share this with your school and eventually start doing this. I think it would be a very nice thing with a very nice exam that unfortunately has not been used as it should and has not been used with the frequency that it requires. We can test every week. Very easy, very simple. We only need 100 specimens. That was my message. That's my message, and that's what I want you to know So you can require this with your school for your children.